Senate Republicans appear ready to mount a full-scale filibuster, looking to hold up former Republican Senator Chuck Hagel's confirmation as Secretary of Defense. This at a time when the Defense Department is in need of strong leadership, but the Republicans have real questions about whether this is the man to provide it. They accuse Mr. Hagel of hiding parts of his history, including at least 2 controversial speeches on the Mideast and his thoughts about Israel. And just within the past hour, we learned that video of one of those speeches is expected to come out any moment now. Chris Direwalt is our Fox News digital politics editor and host of Power Play on FoxNews.com. Lisa Daftari is a journalist with expertise in the Middle East, specifically in counterterrorism and Iran. Welcome to both of you. And Chris, I love the carnation. Happy Valentine's Day to you both.
And to you.
Happy Valentine's Day. So this is what Democrats did not want. They didn't want a process that was going to go on and on. That's why they wanted to push for a quick vote on Hagel, whose confirmation hearings didn't go very well last week. Get the vote done on Friday. That's it. There's no rule out of information and new things popping up. And they're not going to get their wish, Chris, because new things are coming out, including today. And these speeches could pose a problem for him.
Well, that's right. You have a group of people who are ardently, adamantly opposed to former Senator Hagel becoming the Secretary of Defense. And their strategy all along, and we see this in nominations, is delay, delay, delay to create more time, to create that window of opportunity to find the 1 or 2 Democrats that they would need in order to get Hagel rejected. And this video, it may not be the thing that does it, but it is exactly, potentially, the kind of thing that could undo a nomination.
He was controversial before today, Lisa, because he had made comments about the Jewish lobby and many who are pro-Israel feel he is not. And that was one of the things he's had to try to overcome with, only moderate success. Tell us what we think is in these speeches. And I know you're looking at even a third speech that you believe may be equally, if not more, controversial.
Right. So the thing that we're looking at here is not one isolated case. It's a pattern. And there's many of these speeches that he hasn't been, transparent about. And that's what we're looking for here, disclosure. He was supposed to kind of disclose any speech that he gave before 2008, but we're looking at 2 that he did not.
After 2008.
After 2008, rather. And we know that 2 of these existed where he talked about how America's in bed basically with the Israeli government, and that's not the way it should be, and that we should have consular ties with Iran. And there's a third now that we're looking at that was at Rutgers University in 2007. Middle Eastern Studies program there invited him. And again, we have a political strategist out of New Jersey that blogged about the event. Fox News has been trying to find the tape and kind of have the original, but we have a blogger who actually attended and wrote about it on his blog and said how he talked again about how the Israeli government is basically dictating what we should do. And again, this political strategist who put on his blog, he actually is pro-Hagel. He would like to see Hagel
but these comments are controversial. I mean, he's already on the record, Chris, as with the Jewish lobby comment, and that he said he regretted. That was back in 2006. But now there's a question about what he said to these other organizations. And our own James Rosen reported that in one of the speeches, he appeared before the Arab American Anti-Discrimination Committee, a group that has a history of controversial statements about Israel. And in July of 2006, a writer on their website identified Hagel as the lone member of Congress willing to stand up to the Israeli lobby, and went on to call George Bush and Condi Rice, saying that they have a lot of blood on their hands for remaining silent and rearming Israel, which allows the slaughter of Arabs to continue. So should these lawmakers have answers to exactly what Chuck Hagel said to these groups before they vote on him?
Well, you certainly get the idea of why Senator Hagel was not eager to disclose these speeches before in the early rounds of his confirmation process, owing to the simple fact that if there's anything that's going to blow him up with Democrats, it's this issue. As you identified, he placated pro-Israel Democrats, saying, look, I held a point of view, but whatever, that's not my point of view. What I feel now is that Israel is a sacred ally and that we have a special relationship and we have to do all of that. If, in fact, it comes out that this was not an inartful phrasing when he talked about the Jewish lobby and things like that, but if, in fact, he was talking about this on multiple occasions, then you raise the possibility that some of the Democrats that he placated in the first round come back and say, Now I have some questions. And the big danger for Senator Hagel is if you don't get to the cloture vote soon, if you don't get to 60 votes soon, which brings it out for a full vote where he only needs 51 votes, and this thing hangs over and hangs over and hangs over, it may get rotten up on the shelf.
Yeah, we're told, Brett Baer was reporting earlier, it looks, I mean, the Democrats control about 55 seats. We've heard 2 Republicans say that they'll vote in favor of having the vote, so they're up to 57. So they need 3 more Republicans to say, yes, the guy deserves a vote in order for him to get one. Before I let you go, Lisa, why, you know, what he sounds like somebody who feels the way Jimmy Carter feels when it comes to the issue of Israel and Palestinian relations. That's controversial to some in this country, but not to everyone. Mm-hmm. Why should it be a deal breaker for him taking over as Secretary of Defense? I mean,
our pro-Israel stance, our friendship. Israel's been an ally to us for so many years, and now it looks like the Obama administration found the one single Republican, and they're trying to use the fact that he's a Republican to get him passed through. They found the one guy whose history, whose record shows that he's been, you know, speaking very radically against Israel and against our relationship with Israel, and wants to reframe that. And how many chances is he going to get at this point, now that he wants this nomination to go through, to repackage his views on Israel, on Iran, in order to get passed through? But I think, again, his record speaks for itself. Yeah. This wasn't a one-time issue, and it's incredibly serious.
We'll see. If we get these remarks during the next 2 hours, we will play them for you. In the meantime, whether he gets that up or down vote still has a question mark on it. Panel, thank you both so much.
Pleasure.
You bet.